Hello there, Vinod Narayan here, and welcome to another episode. This time I'm going to bring you another book, but before I tell you about the book, I want to tell you that I always go to the library and I see a lot of books out there that I really want to read. And then there's always a problem with time. You don't have enough time to read. And I still go pick up all these books, maybe 5 or 6 books every time I go to the library. Bring it, and not all of them I could read, and then I return it back. And some of the times I can't return it on time, and I end up paying a fees on it, an overdue fees. Now, what I figured was that with non-fiction books, which is what I try to read many times, you can have a better method of reading in terms of kind of browsing, breezing, and reading together, and you can complete a book much more faster. And I've always struggled with this reading because I'm not a very fast reader, and that if I want to read a book from the front cover till the last cover, across every single page and every single paragraph in the book, it's very difficult to finish a book within the time that I want. And if you don't try it, you miss on what is written in the book. So while I love to read the book cover to cover, there's always a question of time. And I tried that with a book this time, and it kind of worked. And I wanted to give you a review of that particular book and then see if that works. Then I'm gonna read that way. So which means that within probably about 3 4 days, I'm able to complete a book about 250 300 pages, so which is pretty good with all the and I'm not sitting and reading all the time. So this book that I have for you today is by Bobby Bones, Fail Until You Don't. It's about fight, grind, and repeat. Now, I'm going to not read the book. It is a book released in 2018, and there are 3 parts to it: fight, grind, and repeat. And since it is repeat, then you can continue to fight, grind, repeat. Fight, grind, repeat. So I've not read Bobby Bones' book before, and this is the first book that I've written, and I mean that I've read. Sorry, and and this is the second book that Bobby has written. So it starts with an introduction to what fight, grind, and repeat means, and then he talks about what is a fight, and he gives an interesting few words that can describe a fight: struggle, work, reflection, passion, hope, advantage, challenge, victory. And the next one, I like that: failure and accomplishment. And then he's asking, what are you fighting for? You need to know what we are fighting for. And what he says is that if people keep telling you no and you still want it, that is something that is worthy of a fight. And I don't know if everything that would be correct for everything that you want, but at least about dreams, about what you want to do in life, at least those things that you really want in your life, and people say no, then that is worth a fight. And I like that. I really like that. This is the fourth chapter. Interesting one. Not everyone is going to like you. You know, we always want people to like us. We always want people to be happy with us, people to always accept us, acknowledge us, agree with everything that we say and do. But that's not going to happen. Because if we want everyone to like us, then the time is not far away when we will be nothing like what we are. You know, we will be a totally different person from what we really want to be. Because we cannot have everyone like us. So not everyone is going to like you, and that's a fact. And I think you should be aware of that whenever you do anything in your life. Grind. First was fight. Nothing. The next one is grind. Grind. What is grind? And according to him, a few words for grind is every day, small details, consistency, tunnel vision, establishing good habits, discipline, and determination. I have a problem with a lot of items over here. I'm not a grind kind of a person, but there are things I do every day, yes. And small details, yes, at times. Consistency on certain things, yes. Tunnel vision, yes, that's tough to have a tunnel vision because I always keep saying that you should not have a tunnel vision. you have a much more broader vision. But here, tunnel vision is not used in a negative way. It is used in a positive way, that you should be very focused on what you want to do. Establishing good habits, that's always tough. It's easy to get hooked onto bad habits, but establishing good habits is always tough. And then discipline, damn. Discipline, you know, and determination. Yes, obviously, for things that I really love to do, I'm determined, and I'm sure you are too. And this one, the beauty of baby steps. You know, you will never be able to do everything just when you start it, right? You're going to have baby steps. You're going to have to start small, right? And that's very important, because I can tell you something about me. When I was in my 20s, 21, 22, I could not take one single push-up. I can't take one single push-up. And now, about 20 years back, or 20 years later, 27 years later, I'm 47 now, and I can continuously do about 30, 32 push-ups. And that's a big achievement. And it was one by one, over so many years, I was able to start doing it. And still, I'm not that determined, and that's why I'm still stuck at a 32 push-ups in one shot kind of stuff. But even then, from being in 20s, not able to do one push-up, going to 47, being able to do 32 push-ups, that's, I think, a big achievement. At least I feel so. But that is all the beauty of baby steps, because you have to take those baby steps before you really start to run. Repeat. Always there's a repeat. Where there's a fight, there's a grind, there's a repeat. And repeat, his few words for repeat is failure, success, perspective, resilience, learning, and improving. That's what repeat is all about. You know, you fail, and then you again repeat it, right? Then you get success. Then you have a perspective, resilience, learning, improving. You keep doing that. You keep learning from your failures, and you should have perspectives when you have success, and then you improve from that, right? And one important thing that he says about resilience is, when you don't get a job, you go for an interview, you don't get a job. Don't take it personally. Don't get derailed. You haven't failed, but instead, you've just invested in your future. I like that. You know, we all attend interviews at times, and we don't get a job, and we always feel we didn't do something properly. We feel we have failed because someone did not select us, right? But there might be many reasons, but we should just look at it as something that we have invested for our future, so that we know better what we are and how we present ourselves. I think that's important. That's resilience. If you just don't have that resilience, you just sit back and say that you failed. Now, I remember hearing once someone said that you have failed does not mean you are a failure, right? Failure is not a person, it's just an event. It's just a start. And then, always, before I end the book, I want to always read that last ending paragraph, which signifies a lot about that book and what is that few words that an author wants to leave with the reader when you close that book. I want to read that for you. You don't need to have a ton of money or time to not make it about you for just a minute. Be an example to others who feel like they are fighting a battle alone. Showing people you can come from a negative situation and make it positive. That you can stay in the fight no matter what. That's a great service. Through all the small decisions we make every day, we can create an opportunity for ourselves and others. Get out of your head and into your life. Fight, grind, repeat. That's Fail Until You Don't by Bobby Bones. Thanks, Bobby. Fight, grind, repeat. I like that. I really like that. fail until you don't.